my guest is somebody that most people in my generation and those above me, I don't even know where my generation starts and ends, but at least those who were old enough and mature enough during the Civil War, would have heard of retired Brigadier Alabi ISAMA. He was the sir, you are the chief of staff to the dreaded 3rd Marine Commando, headed by Brigadier. What was he then? I think it was Colonel Benjamin Adekunle, the Black Scorpion.
That's right.
Yes. You have to speak up a little bit, sir.
That's right.
That's right. I can order you around in this studio. when we get to the barracks, you can drill me all you can, but I'm the general here.
In this place, okay.
In this place, yes.
I will obey orders.
You will obey orders, yes. Now, one of the reasons why I brought General ISAMA in here, instead of, I have to apologize, I was supposed to bring in the lady that was with me last week. But General ISAMA is launching a book on Thursday. And the book is called The Tragedy of Victory. Believe you me, the book, since he gave me the book, I've not been able to put it down. It's almost about 800 pages of A4 size. I mean, that tells you the kind of information that is there with pictures and so on and so forth. And he gives an account of the Civil War, how he took part in the Civil War and the things that he saw. And the part that also interests me is that almost on a line-by-line basis, he comments on General Obasanjo's book, My Command. But we'll come to that. So the thing that occurs to me is, how did you make Brigadier General at 37? How did that happen? Very quickly.
Well, first of all, I joined the army in 1960.
Okay.
The British were in this country. And when we came back from England, where we went for our training, they found that I loved tactics and military history.
Okay.
And they gave me many jobs and many things to do, and I did them well. And sometimes they would teach me something, and I would come back the next day and say, I found a better way of doing it, sir. Can I show you? And they say, yes.
Okay.
And from there on, so it is. And, I came up.
And that's how you became Brigadier at 37?
36, as a matter of fact.
Oh my God. But you don't even look your age.
Yeah,
you could, if we had to compete for a bid, you'd toss me easily.
You think so?
You don't look anywhere near a 70-year-old man
Well,
at
thank
all.
you.
Even I had to tell Lawrence, who thought that we were colleagues, to tell him that Okay, General. Now, what was your rank when the Civil War started?
I was a lieutenant colonel.
Oh, so it was during the Civil War you moved from lieutenant colonel virtually to brigadier.
Yes.
What was the job of a chief of staff in the 3rd Marine Commando?
I was in charge of tactics, strategy, training,
Okay.
and coordinated logistics and administration.
Okay.
All that. I was like a deputy to Adekunle.
Oh, to the Black Scorpion himself.
Yes.
I see. So you virtually the responsibility for planning the strategy was yours.
Yeah. Well, the army is not like that. We have there's always a commander.
Okay.
He will be in charge. He is responsible. You are his deputy. You can advise him. He will either will take your advice or he will not take your advice. But whatever happens, he is responsible, and the buck stops on his desk.
For those of us who of course those of us who are not in the army then, I was a bit young anyway. We had this myth about the Black Scorpion, about Colonel Adekunle then. We had this myth about the Black Scorpion, that he was a terrorist person, he was fighting and winning and so on and so forth. What gave birth to all this myth around him? Because there were other sectors, but everybody kept thinking of the 3rd Marine Commandos.
Yeah, it was our tactics and the strategy. You see, what happened was, if we had to go and capture Ilorin, for instance, I would say we were going to capture Ibadan from Lagos.
Yes.
We would have passed through Ibeti somewhere, or passed through Benin, and we would have gotten to Ilorin, and Ibadan would just surrender. So along the way, they would say Ibafo was falling, Ibadan has fallen, and all the towns along the way. It was our tactics that gave birth to all the myths.
But so you believe that General Adekunle was a very good commander?
Of course. That is my opinion, and I worked with him for 2 years, so I know him very well.
What are the attributes of a good commander? What makes you describe Adekunle as a very good commander?
Well, he must have vision.
Okay.
Then he must, you see, you must be honest with your troops.
Okay.
And you must be able to compromise sometimes. For instance, if somebody says, let all my troops start eating sugar, and you say, oh, they will have dysentery. So, all right, let's put hospital. But then there will be no drugs, so let's put drugstore. So you see, from there, a good commander will listen to you. He didn't have preserve of knowledge on the subject.
Okay.
That's why we were all supporters. That's why we are his
He was
deputies.
a listening commander.
That's right.
Did he lead the battle? You know that
He was always in the front of the battle.
He was always in the front.
Always there. When he was in the war front, he was always there. Troops saw him. He was there. He captured their Bonny, leading the troops. The best landing operation.
He was leading the battle.
Yes, the best landing operation so far in Africa, south of the Sahara. He captured Calabar. Another best landing operation south of the Sahara. These are difficult operations. Going by sea, a little stone will derail everybody.
Well, that's why it's called marine.
Yes, that's because we were operating the Atlantic theater.
But then, somewhere along the line, things started happening to the then Colonel Adekunle, and he had to be recalled.
Yes.
What led to that incident?
I think he was tired. You know, again, we all have different capacity for work.
Yeah.
He did very well. He will carry dead body, he will carry wounded soldiers.
Himself?
Oh, yes. In fact, there is a picture in the book where he removed his shirt so that we can use that as a stretcher. We just put a bamboo in there, and the soldier promised, if I wear Loga, I will come back. And the man
came back, yes. I read that in your book.
That's right.
So you know I read the book properly.
That's right.
Yes.
That's good.
Yes.
And Adekunle was just kind of person like that. And
But you fell out with him, though.
yes, okay.
What caused that?
We got to a stage. You see, I think Lagos did a lot of things to this commander. He will come to Lagos with a view to collecting supplies and weapons, ammunition, and food and things like that for the front. And he left Akinade, myself, Wario, to carry on. He trusted us, and of course we didn't let him down. We promised to be worthy of his trust, and we did. Anytime he got to Lagos, I think the press will want to sell their papers. Adekunle said he will kill everybody. And in the meantime...
everybody feared Adekunle.
Okay.
Yes.
Everybody, and he will leave me in the war front to say, look, this is what you should do. Give them, when you get there, you must feed the natives, you must feed the prisoners of war, you must feed the children. We open hospital for children, we open schools, we open girls' schools. We did all that, but when he gets to Lagos, you've been capturing this town, that town. What next are you going to do? Oh, when I get back, I'm going to kill everybody. Every day we all sit up. The war must finish in another week. And the newspaper will carry story.
Yes.
And Lagos did a lot of things to this general, I tell you.
Oh, I see.
It's a pity.
But you remember, sir, that it was also during the Civil War that General Gawan got married.
Yes.
And what the story we heard was that the troops that were fighting, were very angry to hear that he had such a lavish wedding.
Why?
Whilst you were prosecuting the war.
I would not imagine.
Were you angry in your own case?
No, I wasn't, because we also had parties. Natives welcomed us. Natives welcomed us with masquerades, with dancing. We had no costumes. We removed our trousers, we danced. And so somebody dancing in Lagos has nothing to do with it. The war took a human face, you see.
But there was one of your colleagues who came back and saw his commander dancing. Was it Awilo? It's in your book. You know, I had to rush through this book to prepare myself. There was one of your colleagues who came back. I've forgotten his name. It's in the book. He came back and saw one of his. He saw his commander dancing. Awilo,
it was in my command.
Dancing Shewege.
Oh, Swange.
Swange.
No, it was Obasanjo that went to Sector 1 in Ahoda area to visit the commander there. Yes. And they welcomed me with a dance and girls and all that.
Now, who now met him and was angry? There was somebody that met him.
Well, we were angry because we didn't have a situation like that in our own front. We had sectors 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yes.
And in sector 1, they were dancing and they lost Owerri.
What they were dancing?
We were dancing. And then
what is Swange?
Swange is a dance in the Benue area. Oh, you need to see
Oh,
that.
Lawrence, you know Swange? I'd never heard of it.
Oh, you need to see that.
It's nice that
Oh, it's
Is this the one that where you know they tie the man and the woman together with?
no. This is bottom swinging. You will love it.
I don't know anything about buttons.
No, I believe you.
You believe me?
I
Yeah.
believe you.
Yeah, it's the discourse with Jimmy Disu. I still have with me retired Brigadier General Alabi ISAMA, and actually a lot of the materials I'm discussing with him are things that he disclosed in his book. Now, were you there till the very end of the war?
Yes, I was, about 3 months to 2 months exactly to the end of the war. I was transferred to a logo,
Okay.
1 division, and I think that was very good. I love that because I was able to relax. I never slept well. I was able to dream now, and even my wife got pregnant. You better believe it.
In the war front?
No, I was able to go home. I was able to go home.
I mean, I was going to get you to write a thesis about how you can make a woman pregnant with bullets flying over your head.
Oh, no problem. Just take cover. You'll be fine.
But let me ask you, because I asked General Akinrun
Okay.
at the discourse anniversary that we had, and I
Okay.
said that when you are going to war,
Yes.
does it ever occur to you that you might not come back?
Oh,
Do you have fears?
Well, again, you have been trained. It's
Well,
like-
apart from training,
Yeah.
are there, for example, we believe that maybe some people had like some supernatural things that they put on their bodies to make sure that bullets would.
Forget it. That bullet
It doesn't
will fly
work.
to pieces. You see,
But your mom was, according to your book, your mom was almost everywhere you went.
yes, I was the only son and stupidly went to join the army. And with one son, I had a sister who had died. And then she was so worried that I would die. And
So she followed you?
She went and, first of all, married for me. And
I think a lot of your credit for being alive today should be given to, because why else would she follow you around?
there are about 20 pictures of my mother there.
No, I'm not saying she didn't follow you, but
Yeah,
she
she was.
must have protected you somewhat.
Well, whatever.
You don't think?
Well, she like a mother. I believe she must have prayed, but I'm sure she prayed for all of us because we were back home. All of us back home. You know.
We have let me tell you, General.
Yeah, go ahead.
This is why I'm saying this. We have all kind of myths about. So when I asked General Akinrun, I said, "Is it true that they give soldiers special injection?" He said, "No, it was just anti-tetanus injection."
Yeah, that's all. That's all you get.
But when we were young, they said about soldier.
Yeah.
I thought that was an
No,
injection.
first of all, with their shoe knocking coke,
yeah.
people around will say, hey, "This soldier lele you." That's what it is.
But back to the Civil War, was it necessary? Could it have been avoided?
It could have been avoided. First of all,
yes, go on.
if we had a parliament, they would be debating it, and about a month or two, tempers will have cooled down. So you have these 2 young men, Gawan less than 40, Ojukwu less than 40, and everybody trying to say, all right, and let's go. And so it was. And Ojukwu did not want to give in, Gawan did not want to give in, and the answer was to fight it out.
Was it like, so the underlying whatever was really like a personality clash between the two of them? Is that what you're trying to say, sir?
Well, that's what I would say, because the situation, I will say, the East did not quite get it. And I still quarrel today. Because the coup, the first coup of 1966, was an army coup, was really not an Igbo coup.
Okay.
But because of tribalism, the people you will trust around you will be your own kith and kin.
Okay.
And so, if you're a Yoruba man, you will get Yoruba people around you. And if you're an Igbo person, and that was what happened. And Nzogu, Ifejuna, got Igbo people around them with 1 or 2 Yorubas, like Ademoyega, for instance.
Okay.
So he was a university graduate, and in those days, they were expected to have been the radicals. That's why they were never recruited into the army, as a matter of fact. The army would prefer to train you rather than to have been trained in the university.
So before you come.
So at that time, it was something like tribalism. And they got themselves together. Many of them were Igbo speaking. Not because it was deliberate, it was it would have happened that way if it was a Yoruba person or an Hausa person leading the coup. Okay. And so everybody was happy with the coup. I was. The whole country was. But then, when the dust subsided and settled, now, that was what happened. The Igbos started sending their family home. Not because they were waiting to fight. They were waiting to flee. They wanted to run away. And instead of arresting Zik, Opara, Ibiam, and the rest of the Eastern leaders, they did not arrest them. They couldn't have killed them. It was not necessary to have killed, But you should have arrested them, at least lock them up for 1 or 2 days, tempers will cool, and you can release them. But everybody thought these officers were heroes. Now, some parts thought they were villains. And when Ironsi jailed them, of course, it confirmed that they were villains. And that was what happened. And then, of course, the other side bounced on them. They didn't quite understand why the Hausas were so vicious. It was the feudal system. I tried to explain to a lot of people, it's difficult to get it unless you are involved. My father was from Delta. My mother from Ilorin. They both lived in Ilorin. And my father died when I was 4 years old. So at Ilorin there, I couldn't have been a Godwin. So Godwin was my name. So they gave me Abdurrahman, which was my mother's brother that died. So I became Abdurrahman. I joined the army as Abdurrahman. You see? And when every day in the morning, lunch and dinner, this Alabi, the leader in the house, my father's uncle, will give all the children there, we were about 20, will give us money to go and buy food in the morning and the afternoon and dinner every day. But then when he died, who was going to give us the money? There was nobody to give us food. The older ones became robbers somewhere and stealing things. We just carried pan and we became beggars in the street. I was 4 years old. So when my mother came for the 8 days burial, they found that we were beggars in the street. And that was how my mother took me away. It was through the emir that I even started going to school. You see? So the other children had nothing to do. And so we all just fell apart, and some became cook, steward, and cleaners everywhere. And they had no other job.
The rest of this story, of course, people will read
in the book.
Because we're going to take a break now. And I'm not sure we are going to dance a swangy. But we're going to play any music that you like. What kind of music do you like?
I like Congo. I was in the Congo in the 60s.
But for the younger ones, Congo is what has now become, what's it called now?
Makosa.
As now the Congo that become Makosa.
Let's dance Makosa.
We should dance Makosa.
I'm cool.
You need to see the general, unless he doesn't look at it. He will dust any one of us. Unless the man will carry your babe himself. It's the discourse with Jimmy Disu. We'll take a break. We'll listen to a nice Makosa tune with Lawrence. You find us something to play. We'll take a break and then we'll be right back. So
you see, the Igbos did not understand why the Hausas were so vicious. There was no food. And so you kill their leaders. Who was going to feed them?
So we're now going straight to your friend. Because because the next stage we'll do the ambassador one, and then the third one we'll talk about the state of the nation.
Good.
So we're now going. So the rest of the information they can get from this. So I'm going to read a quote from the book and get you to react to it. Ambassador's arrival.
No, where he said he was going to pay salary.
No, where he said he arrived. All our efforts are capturing in order to confirm that another place, blah, blah, blah. But where I marked is, he had no battle experience and had never fought at any of the 3 fronts of war. He never commanded a battalion or a brigade. Now he had to command a joint battle. That was why his ministry, administration and logistics placing was that of a cadet, as he referred to in his book, My Command. So you just take it up from there. And then now explain how he came. He said he wanted to pay salaries and so on and so forth. Then after that, I will go to But the challenge is that those who fought for democracy are not the beneficiaries. Those who fought to remain unrecognized. So that's all. Then we'll go to Tinker's Coup.
Okay.
So make a go sharp, short, and sharp, and then just say that look, the rest is in the book.
Yes.
Let's prepare the next song.
Next song will also be Makosa.
There'll be another break also.
There'll be another break.
We even forgot to.
Love go field over there.
Yes.
We even forgot to ask people to phone in.
They'll be calling though at least one time. Yeah.
Hey, because of me, I've been fucking like here already. But thank God your guest caught you lying that you don't like Pluto. Yeah, you like.
When we walked it today, they didn't get why the Hausas were so vicious. They had no food, they were not working. If they had killed all the Hausas and left the leaders, there would be no problem. I'm telling you. But when you kill the leaders, you kill all of them. That's what's happening with Boko Haram. When you kill Yusuf, that's their leader. That's how I solved the Maitesine. I got them a leader. I gave him appointment, gave him some money. They took his people away and released them from jail. In 2 weeks, it was over.
We'll get to that. Oh yeah, let's go.
This is The Discourse with Jimmy Desu.
Yes, you're back to The Discourse with Jimmy Desu, and I still have with me retired Brigadier General Alabi ISAMA. And like I said, he has a book that is going to be launched this week. It's called The Tragedy of Victory, and it's called The On-the-Spot Account of the Nigerian Biafra War in the Atlantic Theater. You know, and that's, you know, we've had all kinds of books, you know, various books on the Civil War, Mighty Ebo, and so on. The one that because you devoted close to about almost 300 pages on Obasanjo's account of my command.
Yes.
You agree with some points that he raises, you don't agree with some. But I want to read a comment here first that I'd like you to react to. Okay. Listeners at home, please realize that we really can't go through the book as it were.
Yeah, sure.
So we can, if you want to, you can let it. But here you say that Colonel Obasanjo had no battle experience and had never fought at any of the three fronts of the war. That was when he arrived 3 MCDO, Third Marine Command,
May 1969.
in Badakot. Yes. And that he had no battle experience whatsoever.
Yes.
In fact, he implied earlier in the book that he judged, but he said he was an engineer and he didn't want to fight in the first instance.
Okay.
But and he said he had never commanded a battalion or a brigade. Now he had to command a division in battle. And that you now go to say that was why his military administration and logistics placing was that of a cadet.
Yes.
As he referred to in his book, My Command.
Yes.
Could you explain that?
In his book, when he came in May 1969,
yes,
he said, the first thing I want to do is to pay full salary to all the troops, and secondly, I must give them a rest because they have not had the rest for 2 years. And we had to let him know that
pay full salary to them at the
battlefront.
Okay.
Now, we were only 8,000 troops in the Nigerian army at the time.
Okay.
The war started, so it was beefed up to about 250,000. One division, 2 division, 3 division. We employed cook, steward, anybody unemployable, area boys or whatever, and we took them to the war front. They were trained, and now to say that you were going to be paying them full salary in the war front, that was not quite military. We never did that when we went to the Congo.
You think that was lack of experience?
Oh, yeah, of course. But he was in the Congo himself. He didn't get his salary in there. Now, in the war front, there was nothing to buy. There was no market. There was no factory. There was no farming. There was no fishing, nothing. And so what are you going to do with the money? Salary? And then some of these children, some of these soldiers were the breadwinners of their family back home. They had no barracks, so they had to pay rent. The children had to go to school, and they had aged parents that they had to look after. So with the money in their pocket, okay, let's take for instance the person was in the war front for 6 months and not dead yet or wounded, and now he died on the 6th month. Now the money is in his pocket. What happens? Who takes that money? And that is the point we were saying that we cannot do a thing like this. Well, he said in his cadet days, he wrote it in his book. I'm not just making up a story. He said in his cadet days, he was told to look after the administration of the people. We were taught the basic rudiments of how to run a business, and the rest is left to you as somebody on the ground. When you're there, your situation will dictate what's going to be, what's going to happen. And you can't say because you are crossing a river, you'll be doing the same as somebody fighting in the desert. That would be dumb. So he didn't take the advice, he paid salary. With Adekunle, we had what was called allotment. Money was, the soldier would say, pay my mother so much, my father so much, or my children so much. And we had troops in Lagos who would do all that.
Sir, between Adekunle, you said earlier on that Adekunle always led the battle.
Yes.
But you imply in your book, somewhere in your book, that Obasanjo never led any battle.
He was never there. He was...
but he was the commander, so what did he do?
Well, that's another point. I give you an example. He went to inspect a place at Omoko, commanded by Colonel Luyomade.
Okay.
As soon as they started firing, he ran into his jeep. A bullet met him in the buttock. No. General.
No, wait.
No, this is a fact.
What? He ran into his jeep to run away?
Yes, to run away. Well, why will you leave the commander? Adekunle would have been there firing with them if that was the case.
He ran away and ran into his jeep.
He ran into, as he was going into the jeep,
he hit
him in the buttock. And all the soldiers started laughing. He left. And it's a fact. The Luyomade is still alive. His bottom is still firm and he's still there. Oh, yes.
So you're saying that, but it is said that he ended the war.
Well,
the credit for ending the war goes to him.
There's no doubt about that. I mean,
that means he was involved in the fighting.
No. Listen,
clarify that for me.
If your football coach in your school, was coaching your team,
yes,
right, and they won the Tamajin Cup or won whatever the school principal's cup,
yes,
okay, and then he was not there that day. Maybe he was sick in hospital, and they won the cup.
Yes.
And then he will say, that stupid boy who scored only 1 goal, he will have scored 10, he will have scored 20. But the coach will still get the credit that he coached the team that won the cup.
So are you saying categorically, sir, that the credit for ending the war, ending the war physically, shouldn't really have gone to him?
No.
He wasn't involved in battle.
In the military, the bulk, as I said,
it stops on the commander's table.
Even if they were losing, they would still mention his name as the loser. Okay, but in this case, he was saddled with the commanding of the troops, and so he gets the glory. But rather than say, "Oh, my boys did the fighting," I wasn't even there. But you are the commander.
Well, why wasn't he there? Was he busy developing tactics or what?
He threw a development tactics. He threw a party for General Adebayo, and General Adebayo did not come to the war front without the previous appointment. On that day, when Akinade got fed up with all this bickering for 6 months, we were waiting to finish the war in 30 days. 30 days. So Akinade just called Luyomade, Tomoye, Isamede, Olaudni, and they said, all right, boys, let's go. They picked their tent. They never came back to Port Harcourt until the Biafra surrendered to them. And when Biafra surrendered, well, of course, they had to call the commander. Commander, where you day at Port Harcourt? All right, they've surrendered to me. Would you like to come and see? He got lost. He didn't know where they were. It's in his book.
Who? So the original surrender was to
Akinade. Yes.
To him, not to him.
Not to him. He wasn't there. He got lost. It was 4 hours drive. He didn't know where to go. And it's on page 126 of his book, page 123, paragraph 7 of his book. You want to read that? It's there.
But now to start living through.
No, it's there.
It's there, yes. But so
he wrote it in his book. I'm not making a story. He wrote it in his book. He wrote it in his book.
Oh, okay, fine. But even though he wrote it in his book, I because I remember I read the book.
Yeah.
He said he took the surrender of Lieutenant Colonel Philip.
Yeah, of course. When they called him, when Akinade called him to say, well, they surrendered to me, or you better come. That's normal. That's normal. They will call the commander. Yes, he wasn't there, but they will call the commander and say, well, you should come. But when he got there, he couldn't find them. He couldn't find them, and he got to the place.
And they couldn't find him either.
Well, they were not looking for him. He was looking for them. He said, after seeing Brigadier Adebayo off at the airport,
okay, that's
on 13 January, I made straight for Owerri.
Yes.
I'm from Owerri to Olu.
Yes.
I was told that Lieutenant Colonel Akinade, Lieutenant Colonel Akinade and Major Tomoye had made contact with senior rebel officers and had gone to see them, but no one knew where exactly they went. I followed with my escorts in the general direction of Nkwere and Uga. After going for some distance, I decided to inquire, but nobody could give me an answer as to their whereabouts. My commander looking for me in the war front. Where did he send me to? That's the joke of it.
I think I'll bring him to the discourse.
And then on reaching Uga airfield, without seeing my two officers, I turned back. Very near Olu, I met a junior officer who claimed that he knew which way the two officers had gone. He led the way while I followed. My general officer commanding followed. He led the way. This is his book. I'm quoting his book. And I followed. Soon, we met the two officers feeling rather happy and elated and pleased with them. They told me they had just met Effiong and a group of rebel officers and civilians and had arranged a further meeting with me for the following day. They arranged meeting with him for the following day. Okay. I insisted on being taken there and then to where these senior rebel officers were. My officers felt it was unnecessary. They told the general it was unnecessary. Imagine,
we've done the job.
Imagine that they would tell George Patton during the World War, it's not necessary. George Patton was there. He was there. And then they said it was unnecessary, as they might all have dispersed.
Okay, we'll get to the rest
so
of the book.
I'm not making up a story.
This is quite
what he
interesting.
wrote.
Yes.
It's in my book.
You can join us. You can actually call in to ask questions or to react on 01463 1072 01463 1072, or at Twitter. You can tweet us at Classic FM 97 to Classic FM 973. So Classic FM 973. You can, and then for those of you who have my number, of course, you can text in. I will take your reaction. But sir, somewhere in your book, again, you mentioned like you and General Obasanjo, you never now over time saw eye to eye because of various these various things.
There were two main points actually.
What were the two main points?
The first one was that General Gawan is still alive. He told Akinade and I to say, go to Obasanjo at Ibadan and see, because we were looking for a Yoruba officer to take over the command of the 3rd Marine Commando.
Why Yoruba?
Okay, good. Because one division had an Hausa commander. Two divisions had an Hausa commander. I mean, I'm sure the Yoruba people would have said, I will lay on knee and that kind of stuff. So then General Gawan said, all right, look, Adekunle is a Yoruba man. All right, let's look for another Yoruba person. There was Shotomi, there was Olutoye, there was Oluleye. But Akinade suggested Obasanjo. I didn't know him. I didn't know him. So Akinade knew him. So Akinade suggested him. Then General Gawan said, all right, go to Ibadan, go tell him. And when we got there, we had spoken for about 5 hours, and I'm telling you,
and he didn't offer you. You said in your book, he didn't offer you
not even food, a drink, not even food or anything. And I did all the talking, opened the map, I drew the map, and so when he asked the question that was very elementary, he said, "How do you know Uli Hala is the center of gravity?" Oh, I said, "Well, look, Akinade, you talk to him." Then finally,
you got fed up.
Yeah, I got fed up, of course, because that question was not necessary.
Okay.
So, and then he said, all right, well, I don't think I want to go to the war front. I'm an engineer. That pissed me off. And I said, oh, got me. Which engineering university did you attend? You were trained in a military engineering school where you would do booby trap or belly bridge and things like that. And the job you are doing in Ibadan, which was garrison commander, it's an infantry job. He got annoyed with me. I got annoyed with him. Well, I was guilty because emotions is not part of strategy.
Yes.
You don't.
Yes, in the military, yes.
Yes, you do. And I said, well, look, can I do? You carry on me? I'm fed up. And by the time we finished, we all went out. But in the meantime, General Gawan has sent him a signal to say he should take over 3 Marine Commandos.
So
the offense was that we took him to the war front.
Oh, he didn't want to go to the war front?
Of course, he didn't want to go to the war front. And then the second
Can you fathom why?
Well, he was an engineer.
But he's a soldier. Why would you want to go to the war front?
That's left to him. When you see him, you ask that question.
No, well.
And then the second one was at Ohoba.
Okay.
It's in his book. He went to attack Ohoba with soldiers that were besieged for 7 months without food or water.
Wow.
One of the soldiers, one of the officers came crying on my shoulder. All right, it's enough now. You don't cry, you do. He says, sir, what's making me cry is that for 1 week or two, when there was no rain, we couldn't go out to go and get water because we were besieged. They were surrounded. And so the man just decided to pee into his cup, and then he put Gary inside.
Really?
They were chewing Gary ordinarily without water. So that day he peed into his cup and he put the Gary in there. And after drinking the Gary, rain fell the next day.
Oh my
Rain
God.
fell the next day. The man started crying. Now, when the same soldiers, he put them back into attacking Ohoba. We had 60,000 troops in Marine Commando. He would have changed them. Because once you have been defeated in battle, you change them, you get the morale right. That's why he too came in there. And they will then discuss with them, he will train them, he will get the supplies and everything and ready for fight. But he got these people back. It's in his book. I'm not making a story.
I know, yeah.
Okay, it's in his book. And then he got them back, and 1,000 soldiers died in 1 hour of battle.
Wow.
We couldn't stand that. Because we came from Calabar to Port Harcourt. From Calabar to Port Harcourt took us 30 days. 480 kilometers we were running and fighting and crossing the Ogo River. On foot. We had no vehicles. And we got to know these soldiers. We pat them on the back. Oh, God, I get blister. I will show him my own blisters. Now, oh, God, I see your own. Okay, let us go. We will soon get there. But for morale, the troops were mutiny. 480 kilometers in 30 days. That was an effort. Then he lost in 1 hour of battle. 1,000 soldiers counted. In fact, in his book, he said 1,400. And nobody has questions up to today. Everybody got pissed. I think this is the point.
Well, General, you know, honest to God, time is not our friend. There's so many things, but I just want to also clear this part of your book that says tide turns against me after Dimka's coup.
Yes.
Okay, and in your book you said that with the coup over, Obasanjo became head of state. Danjuma, who was my classmate and friend, who was to be ambushed on his way to work, but was missed because he rode in my boat, suddenly became my enemy. This
Yes.
Danjuma.
Yes.
Okay, and we never saw eye to eye again after the Dimka coup.
Yes.
Okay. Now you said that in this book you said that ordinarily Danjuma should have been the head of state after Muritala was killed.
All right. Well, first of all, Danjuma
Yes.
was the head of the army, was the commander of the army.
But that you and Akinrade
Yes.
insisted that it was the second in command, who was Obasanjo,
Yes.
that
we should do the right thing.
and then that you had to go. Where was he during the coup?
Well, that is the main point. That's why Danjuma quarreled with me. First of all, he was number 2.
Yes.
Muritala had been killed. He was
Yes.
number 1.
Yes.
And in the meantime, he ran away and was hiding at SB Bakari. SB Bakari is one of these businessmen in Lagos. He's late now, may he rest in peace. And he went to hide under his
Did you
bed.
go to hide there? Or just went there.
Well, was that an army barrack?
No, I want to clarify.
Jimmy?
Go on. I just want to clarify.
I use the word and I stand by the word that he went to hide there.
Yeah, I mean, okay, fine.
Okay.
Yes.
So he went there and we were looking for him. Akinade insisted that look, we must do the right thing. He had to be. I said, but this man was not good to us during the war. He said, well, but let's do the right thing. Okay, I agree, let's do the right thing. In the meantime, Danjuma was saying, look, why should we just let the man who ran away be the head of state? Danjuma was right.
I see.
But Akinade also was right. In between, we said, all right, if we were going to do the right thing, and not like the Ogundipa story where they sidetracked Ogundepe and Gawon became head of state. All right, let's do the right thing. So Akinade went and defended Obasanjo. In fact, in his book, he said, titled Not My Will, he said Akinade came to drive him to the meeting. Yes. Akinade was not his driver, nor ADC. So he could have seen that we sent people there to make sure he was alive, just so that he won't be bombed off. And then we realized later that, you see, we were wrong. But so, if we were wrong, what do we do? He had become the head of state. He had become, you see, he had destiny. He had opportunity. But believe me, he didn't have the talent.
Well, I mean, that's subject to...
That's my opinion. I'm entitled to my opinion.
Entitled to opinion.
Yes.
Well, I'm not... I have no opinion.
Yeah. Well,
let me just place it.
That's why your name is Jimmy.
I have no opinion. We have some tweets here. Adegboyega Adedeji, he's a regular contributor. He says that what was General Obasanjo's job? A man in the military that failed. Okay, that's neither here nor here. Then there's another one that says emotion is not part of strategy. He's quoting you.
Yes.
Then 1,000 soldiers within 1 hour of battle.
Yes.
The general has opened their eyes. This is a gentleman called Lagbaja.
They're all in my book, and they're all in his book too.
I'm going to create your indulgence that I will skip the second because this interview is getting interesting.
Okay.
So I won't play the second music,
okay.
so that I can have a bit more time with you because
that music reminded me when we were boys.
When we were boys.
Oh yeah, when I was in the Congo.
But you're still boys.
Oh well, thank God for
those of us who know you fairly well now. Yeah. We have a fair idea of we have a phone call coming in? Oh, okay. Let's hear the call. Yes. Yes. Please speak loud.
Hello, how are you? My name is Lapake Adebi.
Yes.
You know how I moved to one time?
Yes. Please, let's hear your comments very quickly. We are running out of time.
I want to say hello to General ISAMA, who's my brother. I've been looking for him for 20 years.
Okay. You can send us a text later so that we can quickly round up our discussion.
Yes.
Yes.
Please, I'm happy if he remains ISAMA that we knew as a young girl.
Yes.
Yes.
I mean, that means that ISAMA is not a young girl. Okay, that means that when you were a young girl.
When I was a younger girl,
okay.
He was always frank, honest, and straight to the point.
Are there other things about him that you would want to say, or you'll phone us later to tell us that?
No, it's not.
I never said he's not your brother. I just asked. I don't ask
my number, but I'd like to get in touch with him.
No problem, madam. No problem, madam.
Go and get the copy. And please talk to me later. I want to see more about from first time.
Of course, I remember. I can never forget you.
You must call me back.
I will call you, madam.
And let me give my brother my number. I need to get in touch with him.
Okay, I'll give your brother your number.
You mean that you are doing a fine job.
Thank you.
One Sunday I will miss your discourse. Maybe because we are in the same bracket. Maybe because we have known for over 30 years.
Okay.
Maybe we all grow up together.
Thank you,
I'm happy by doing very well.
Thank you very much, madam. Thank you. Thank you very much, madam.
My brother, my darling brother, I must get in touch quick. Let me give him my number.
Okay. All right.
Bless you.
My dear. Have a nice day.
Bye. You too.
You too. Okay. So there you are, General. We have loads and loads of reactions. If it wasn't live, I'd have taken you on a 2-hour stretch. But since it's live, I have to make way for Afrologic, who is probably on standby. Now, so what now led to a conspiracy against you when you were one of those who, because apparently your exit from the army was not long after...
he published a gazette. He published a fake gazette. The gazette is in the book. In December.
What was said was that you couldn't account for 3...
No, he said I was dismissed from the army through a court-martial. There was no court-martial. He put it there. One of his secretaries quickly made photocopies and sent to me. I was in the United States. And then they distributed to some of my children she knew.
Did you... When you left for the United States?
Yes.
Did you
I just left the country.
Oh, you walked out on the army?
Well, I just... Because there was everyday argument for it. The worst one was that he said, after a long debate of elites and senior officers sitting down to discuss traffic in Lagos, his first job after Moritala was killed, He said we should vote 30,000. That was the decision after all the debate for about 3 hours. We should vote 30,000 naira to buy koboko and whip people in Lagos.
Oh, that was Colonel
Tarfa.
Lawrence,
Colonel Tarfa is still alive.
Oh yeah, that was when I think that was also when he posted soldiers to schools.
Yeah.
But I remember that Colonel Tarfa incident.
Yeah,
I was in the Daily Times then.
That
yes.
definitely was barbaric.
Yeah, it was barbaric.
Yes.
Colonel Tarfa, slim officer.
He's still slim. He's still there.
I think he was in the military police.
Yes.
I'm sure he probably is hearing this program.
Yes,
if you're having a good laugh, you know, and that was when we started seeing koboko.
Yes.
And generally, you won't believe, up till recently,
yes,
sometimes you find members of your corps, military corps,
yes,
they put koboko in front of their dashboard.
Yes.
You know, that was when this. But very quickly, I'd like to know your take on military rule itself. Do you think it was necessary? That's number one. And do you think deep inside you, we have seen the last of military insurrections?
Yeah, I think so. It's not worth it anymore. And you see, we cannot say that these boys or whoever, whether military, whether police or Navy, Air Force, or even civilians, you cannot be indifferent to what happens in your country. Yes. They were not satisfied, and so they thought they would do it well. But when they got there,
yes,
it was different. They realized, oh, this is pepper soup, and they started drinking. Unfortunately, they didn't do quite what we wanted. Because
when you say we, who were the we? Were you
at the army? I was in the army.
Did you take part in the planning of any coup?
Me, I was drinking and dancing, enjoying myself. I like strategy and planning. I don't get involved in those things. They're too elementary. A good soldier doesn't plan a coup. These are just low-lifers.
Really?
Oh, yes, I tell you that. And whoever planned a coup and is there is nobody. They're never anything. And look at what happened at the end of it all. Or did they do well? Obasanjo had an opportunity. He was head of state. Then he became president. 3 things we wanted him to do. That's all, just 3. Put the constitution, the best constitution that everybody will say this constitution was put there by Obasanjo. He didn't put it there. He had opportunity. He had the destiny. He didn't do that. And then we said, look, leave the army, just get the police right. Once you get the police right in this country for internal security, the country will settle. Justice. Put justice and you will find there will be peace. When there is justice, you will find peace, and when there is peace, there will be progress. So he disbanded the E branch, and that is why you couldn't get information
about the
police.
But why even it was claimed that during Babangida's time,
yes,
that there was a plan to decimate the police. Why has that always been?
Because the police knew too much. They knew who was the thief, who was the vagabond, who was the superstar. I mean, in this country, we always we've been worshipping the thieves and the vagabonds. They are our superstars. The children learned from them. In my time, there was nothing called what you call them in the university now, and the cultists and all that. There was nothing like that. There was nothing like that. In the West, when I was growing up, everybody from East, West, and North came to work in the West.
Yes.
They had free education and free medical. Even if you were earning 5 naira, your wife went to the hospital and was able to deliver free of charge, and then your children will go to school free of charge. Hey, what else are you waiting for?
General, I'm not going to let you leave this place because you were the one. It is said that you are the one who dealt with the Matasini riot.
Yeah.
Are we taking the right approach to the Boko Haram crisis that we have on our hands now?
First of all, I think somebody asked me this question yesterday, and whether the fact that they're signing an agreement and the ceasefire.
No, well, it has been repeated this morning.
Okay.
They said the Boko Haram people said they don't have any
ceasefire. But agreement. Believe me, if anybody will dobale for peace in this country, just like Gawan did, he said there was no victor, no vanquish. Let everybody move on. Let us develop a great country for ourselves. But Gawan himself was disgraced and there was a coup. I mean, some of these things are unnecessary. We realize eventually, hey, all those that were killed in the first coup, where are their estates? Who have the estates now? These soldiers, these vagabonds, now they have the estates. They have the money. These are the people who worship. These are the Baba who are around the town. I mean, I'm telling you that many of these schools are unnecessary. The civilians look, the worst civilians will be better than the best military government.
But still, are we handling the Boko Haram issue properly?
Well,
is the military solution? Is the military
is a police case. It is a police case.
It's a police case.
When the army will have gotten there, then they know that it's a battlefield. They level the place. But you see, it has been badly handled right from Odi, Zaki Biam, all those kind of things. No, it's a police case. It was like Mama Fela. What has the army got to do with Mama Fela? It was a police case. Let the police solve the problem. Fela's house. Yes. And then how Mama Fela died. It's in my book. It's a police case. Let us develop the police properly. Let us have... today, you cannot have a fingerprint. The police don't have laboratory.
They don't have laboratory. No forensic.
Mr. Yomi Onoshile set up a laboratory in this country. Where is it today? He was a commissioner of police. Where is the laboratory? Where is the forensic? We need to develop the police. That's all we need, and there will be internal security.
To take the army out of all this.
It's not an army case. It's not an army case. By the time they will see the army in town, the place is over. The place will be leveled. You're not going to send me chasing somebody who's not wearing uniform. The number of people that have been killed so far, not wearing uniform, how do you know they were the members of Boko Haram? They had a signboard on their face? Or where were they? You see? But I will say that anything to give peace. Okay, you mentioned Metesine.
Yes. How did you handle the Metesine?
All right. The story is in archive. In 1976, I was the principal general staff officer. I have pictures of these people, and it will be in my second book. Now, what would they needed is like this feudal system again. When you kill their leader, you have killed them. They have no job. They are ready to fight you to finish. And of course, they had help from here and there and other people who are disgruntled in the area. And that's what has happened. All they need is a simple situation. Listen to what their complaints are. Give them a leader and let's move on. Even if we have to prostrate, I am ready. Let this country move forward. That's all. We cannot move forward in a situation of chaos. Can you?
No, we can't.
That way, who caused this chaos? Is you see any foreigner that caused it? No. We did. We, the Nigerians, we, the people.
But how do you feel with all these new political developments that are happening? Not new, the ongoing, like what is going on in Rivers State,
yes,
and all these things. In what context do you put all this?
If you have no justice, you can't have peace. People are looking for justice. Give them justice. I was told that land cases in Lagos alone, somebody will just go into your land and they will build a house, and for the next 6 years, the case will be in court. He's not getting justice. That's why I think they're debating now that anybody who tampered with somebody's land will get a 3 years jail or something. It's becoming embarrassing for government. This is part of corruption in the country. I met one of our governors in London at a party. I said, "Oh, Your Excellency, I understand you bought a jeep for all your state assembly, and thank you very much. That's very kind of you." He said, "Oh, General, we are trying. The roads are bad." I said, "The roads are bad for only members of parliament? What about Alabi, ISAMA, and the rest of us?"
Did he buy you one?
He just walked away. He just walked away. But that's what has happened. These different leaders carry the money not only to our banks in Nigeria, they carry them abroad.
Yes.
London and all other places are shining, and there are beggars all over the street. There are potholes everywhere. There are flooding everywhere. Look, the youth must, they must sit down and what I call resolution in my book.
Okay.
And debate these things and let the different leaders put them aside. Put them aside. That's what I'm saying. When they voted for the governor in Edo State, and they tried to rig it, all the women went naked in town. Yes. They went naked. This cannot happen in our time. And that's what, look, it is not a revolution. You are not standing up to fight. We are saying that sit down to talk. You will sit down to talk. And sit on your right and sit down to talk. And then Obasanjo recently said if blundering is handing over to civilians,
he was reacting
he was reacting to the paper which said he was a blundering general. No, and then he said, but that's the blunder. He served twice. Who gained from it other than his family and himself? Which family gained from his 8 years rule as president and his military rule as head of state? Where in Nigeria, which road did he tar? What did he bring? Somebody told me he brought GSM. It was Abacha that came to my office in New York, to Penn Plaza, to discuss what was called CDMA. And it was from there we said, no, CDMA is gone now. We're doing something new.
Really? The
which
same
is called
Abacha?
GSM. Yes. It was Abacha that started GSM in this country. But when Obasanjo came, he nullified all the
well, because it was said that Abacha owned all the...
Okay, he said he gave it to his
so that he owned them.
Oh, well, but that was not true. That was not true.
Okay,
but then he nullified that and then he started all over again. He didn't bring GSM to this country. He did not.
Okay, General, this is the hottest discourse ever. This is the first time we're not going to play music twice.
Don't play music.
No, you're ready. We have to go because
we have to go.
Our time is up. Yes.
Okay.
Well,
I thank the viewers for listening.
Listeners at home,
you
I hope you've had. This is the hottest discourse ever. General, I thank you very much. I have to be at the launching of. I know that I hope to be. I will be, God willing.
In Jesus' name.
But I don't know why I want to come because I finished reading the book.
No. When you will see the caliber of people, because children are calling me every day. The youth are calling me every day. We want to listen to this. I was in the traffic coming from Ibadan. And somebody recognized me. General, I love your book. I said, but I have not sold it yet. He said, don't worry, we will be there. And all the boys selling in the street came around. But the point I'm saying is, it is a fact. I did not make up a story. I took part in a war.
Yes.
I carried dead bodies. I ate human flesh.
Yes, I saw that.
Okay, all those things I did. But for somebody to demonize me, who was not there, then, you see, as a strategist, I went away for 40 years.
40?
I came back. I'm now back. I spent 35 years in the United States. I am now back. Because you don't fight somebody standing where you are lying down. He had immunity and impunity.
Yeah, but you can give him a start. Like sometimes
no matter whether
in football, sometimes you can.
You will kick his ass with lying down.
Okay,
lying down.
General, we have to go.
God bless you.
We have to go.
Thank you.
Oh my God, this is it. It's been the discourse with Jimmy Disu. I've had General Alabi ISAMA. His book is due for launch. It's going to be launched on Thursday, which means that it will be
at the Institute of
International Affairs.
International Affairs.
So we'll
11 o'clock.
We'll all be there. We'll all be there.
Amen.
So you'll be able to. This should be up on my blog. I suspect latest by Monday afternoon. So if you want to hear a repeat. And this new experiment of video, Lawrence, I didn't see you had this camera, but this new experiment of video, I hope it works. Then you might even just see it. You might just see like a video recording of it. So go out there and have a lovely week, and I hope to see you again next week on the discourse. Thank you very much. Bye.
97.3 presents The Discourse with Jimmy Disu.
It's a fact.
What phone meeting
and enlightening program that delivers all you need to know on political issues and current affairs. The Discourse with Jimmy Disu is exclusive to Classic FM 97.3.